Right now, on a ship somewhere off the coast of Florida, 4,000 people are reaching into a container of floating fruit water and calling it the healthy choice at lunch. By dinner, some of them will be in the medical center wondering why. That's coming. Stay with me to the end for it. 30 years in cruise ship kitchens and dining rooms. 15 foods I watch passengers eat every single day that I would never put on my own plate. Not once. Not on a good day, not on a well-run ship, not with a crew I trusted completely. I'm Thomas Ashford. Over 30 years in cruise ship hospitality, galley operations on mainstream lines, food and beverage management on premium lines, finishing as hotel director overseeing every dining operation on board. I've seen the health inspection reports. I've seen what happens when the cold chain breaks at a port stop. I've signed off on incident forms passengers never know exist. I no longer have an employer to protect, so I can tell you what active crew can't. Nothing here is a travel blog opinion. This is what I watched happen repeatedly across 3 decades at sea. Here's why a cruise ship is a fundamentally different food environment than any restaurant you've ever sat in. You're feeding 4,000 people 3 meals a day in a sealed vessel with no ability to restock for days. Food moves through warming trays and holding stations most passengers never think about. The danger zone for bacterial growth sits between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Buffet food lives inside that zone for hours. Keep that number in mind because it's the thread running under everything I'm about to walk you through. Number 15, buffet scrambled eggs. They look fine. They're warm. But they've been sitting in that tray since 5:30 in the morning, and it's now 9:45. The internal temperature has been drifting the whole time. Eggs are one of the most hospitable environments for salmonella outside refrigeration, and holding scrambled eggs at a safe, consistent temperature across a 4-hour breakfast service is genuinely difficult at scale. More egg-related illness complaints cross my desk than almost any other single item. Number 14, pre-cut fruit at the buffet. Here's what most people don't picture. Hundreds of guests reaching across that display with the same serving tongs, touched, set down, picked back up, set down again. Norovirus, responsible for the majority of documented cruise outbreaks, spreads through exactly that kind of surface contact. The fruit looks clean. The exposure is invisible. Number 13, and this is one people genuinely never think about. The ice machine. Ice dispensers see heavy use and irregular sanitization, especially during rapid port turnarounds when housekeeping and sanitation teams are stretched thin. Ice is not sterile. It carries whatever the machine was holding. Number 12, soft serve ice cream. The dispensing nozzles are a documented source of illness on cruise ships. The CDC vessel sanitation program has cited soft serve equipment in multiple outbreak investigations. That nozzle touches thousands of cones a day and needs meticulous cleaning between cycles. When that cleaning slips, the nozzle becomes the transmission point. Now we're into the foods people specifically board the ship to eat. Number 11, raw oysters. The cold chain for shellfish is unforgiving. One temperature break during a port transfer, 1 hour outside the safe range, and an entire batch is compromised. On land, your oyster bar gets daily delivery from a controlled source. On a ship, those oysters have already moved through port logistics, customs handling, and multiple refrigeration transitions before they reach your plate. That's a different risk calculation than a dockside restaurant in Maine. Number 10, sushi and sashimi, same cold chain concern, compounded by sourcing. A sushi grade is a designation applied at the point of origin. By the time that fish has transited a port supplier, a ship's receiving dock, and a refrigeration hold that may have fluctuated in rough weather, The freshness guarantee you're picturing isn't what's actually on your plate. Number 9. Ceviche. Here's what most people get wrong. They assume the lime juice cooks it. It doesn't. Acid denatures protein, which changes texture and appearance. It does not eliminate pathogens. A retired engineer told me directly after 2 days in the ship's medical center that he'd ordered the ceviche on embarkation day because he thought the citrus made it safe. He spent the next 48 hours wishing someone had told him otherwise. None of that had to happen. Number 8. Chilled shrimp cocktail at a buffet. It gets replenished over existing stock. The shrimp at the bottom has been sitting longer than the shrimp on top, and the temperature at the display edge isn't the temperature at the center. Order it plated from a waiter at a sit-down venue instead. Never take it off the buffet line. Number 7. Leafy greens at the salad bar. Tongs go in, come out, land on the sneeze guard ledge, go back in. By mid-lunch, a busy salad station has seen more human contact than almost any other surface on the ship. And here's the part that matters. Greens can't be cooked to kill what lands on them. What's on them stays on them. Number 6. Fresh juice from port excursion stands. This one sits entirely outside the ship's food safety jurisdiction. The ship can't inspect the vendor, can't verify the water used in the press, can't do anything except treat you afterward if something goes wrong. Guests come back from certain Caribbean and Mexican ports with textbook travelers' diarrhea after what they describe as a beautiful, fresh, healthy drink from a roadside stand. The juice wasn't the problem in the abstract. The water used to wash the produce was bottled water on shore. Every time. Number 5. Tap water in specific port destinations. The same warning applies to ice and your drinks ashore. Take it without thinking and you're drinking the local water supply through a different delivery method. The ice is the water. Here's the part I find most important, because these next 3 are the ones nobody ever talks about. Number 4. Reheated rice and pasta dishes. Bacillus cereus is a bacterial toxin that forms in cooked rice and pasta left at room temperature, and it survives reheating. You cannot cook it away after the fact. It's already a toxin by the time the heat is applied. Cruise dining runs on production cycles, so rice and pasta from lunch service can get held, chilled improperly, and rotated straight into dinner. It looks fine. It smells fine. The toxin is invisible, odorless, and it will send you to the medical center within 6 hours. Number 3, midnight buffet meats. Same proteins from earlier service, cycled through warming equipment for 6 to 8 hours straight. The presentation changes. The serving vessel changes. The meat, if you eat at the midnight buffet, stay away from carved meats and anything that's clearly been sitting in a warming tray. Cold items only, or nothing at all. Number 2, Hollandaise Sauce, and this one surprised even experienced food safety inspectors when I walked them through the math. Hollandaise is made with raw egg yolks, held warm because it breaks if it gets cold. Warm, raw egg yolk, held for service is a textbook salmonella environment. Serving it safely in a small restaurant already requires precise, near-constant temperature control. Serving it to 4,000 passengers across a 2-hour breakfast service is, from a food safety standpoint, nearly impossible to do without risk. Order the eggs a different way. Number 1, the one I promised you at the top, and the one I personally watched generate more illness complaints than almost anything else on my ships, the infused water dispensers at the buffet. Large glass containers, fruit floating inside, presented as the healthy alternative to soda. They look clean, they look elegant. That's exactly why they get cleaned infrequently. They don't read as a high-priority sanitization item during service. Floating fruit sitting at room temperature in water guests have been dispensing from and inadvertently backwashing into for 4 hours straight is a bacterial breeding environment. It doesn't look like a risk. That's exactly why it is one. This is the one that caught people who'd been careful all week. They skipped the raw oysters. They avoided the midnight buffet. They drank bottled water on shore every time. Then they had 3 glasses of that beautiful cucumber lemon water at lunch on day 5, because it seemed like the healthy choice. By dinner, they knew something was wrong. I told you at the start there were 15 foods I'd never eat on a cruise ship. Now you know exactly which ones and exactly why. You can still have an outstanding cruise. You can still eat extraordinarily well. You just know what to skip and what to order with confidence. Because now you know what I know. If there's someone in your life planning a cruise this year, send him this before they book their dining pack.